Do you see that?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay.
Mansari continued. Baba would make us forget that he was Baba, so we would foolishly argue with him. He would say, no one would like to swallow bitter medicine, but you have to. If you don't listen to me, then there is no use staying up here on the hill. Admire me at home, garland me at home, and stay there. When you are here, you are under my training. But according to our human nature, we argued. He wanted it this way. Baba would create circumstances where you like to run away. But it doesn't matter if he beats you or teases you. Many times when I displeased him, he said, how I want to beat you, Mansari, but you are so thin. Baba used to say, you don't know yourself, but I know everyone from top to toe. He told me that my nature was very hot, but that he would make a vast difference in it, like heaven and earth, and he did. If you continue to be hot-natured, Baba told me one day, I won't bring you with me next time. I replied, don't bring me. I will see you coming and catch hold of your sadra as a parachute. I will come down too. And Baba laughed. The beauty of Baba was that he knew how to slap and again how to pat. He knew our moods. He would scold us and then embrace and comfort us. It is his grace that we are at his feet today. Each of the men and women Mandali upset Baba at one time or another. It was inevitable, given Baba's demanding nature and taunts. But after the early years, it was noticed that Baba seldom, if ever, took Mera or Mani to task. According to Kitty, Baba never found fault with either Mera or Mani in public. If there were things between them, it was always settled in private. At times, Baba lamented about the men and women Mandali. You are all broken down furniture. I don't know why I keep you with me. But after years of his contact, they found comfort in his remarks. Why? Because it meant that he would keep them near him for training. Whenever he started praising them, saying things like, you are all gems, jewels, you would do what no other disciple would do for his or her master. Kitty and Rano exchanged nervous glances. Uh-oh, what's coming now? They wondered. Perhaps Baba was getting ready to ask them to do something really difficult, like accepting separation from him. But according to Mani, any difficulty is an opportunity. When you are doing something for Baba, he's like a completely full cup. Even this much that you do, even one drop, makes the rest overflow because he is full. The bounty comes from him. But when you are doing something for yourself, you can go on doing it, putting in as much as you like, but nothing will overflow, as it has no bulk, no mass. Great artists, musicians, and so on. Why can they reach the height of greatness? It is because they forget themselves. Baba has explained, the self in them is forgotten.
We have some nice pictures.
Of laundry,
Upper Marabad.
Mara hanging out the laundry.
Right.
I feel sorry for you city folk that can't hang your laundry out.
I know. Some
Makes it
people
so
do.
makes it very fresh and nice.
I know that. The blue bus tours.
These are not in the book.
Oh,
Yeah, these are added.
nice.
He
Yeah.
updated it recently.
What?
Mara heating up Baba's food, perhaps during one of the blue bus tours.
There's Mara looking very Western, very
Yes.
English.
That's in the book. But I couldn't even find the place where you are in the book. It was just very different. So they've added a lot, I think.
Hilltop Lookout Point during the blue bus tours. Let's take another look.
And Baba looking very Lawrence of Arabia-ish.
Do you want to continue, Eugene, or have someone
No.
else read?
I'll read another page and then we can switch.
Okay.
Chapter 52, The Crux. When Meher Baba came to the women's ashram on Sunday, 8 September 1940, he asked first about their health, but then complained that the previous day someone had talked loudly when he was working. I was so angry that I wanted to come here then and there and beat everybody. Just when I made even the canary stop singing, I heard your voices. So for a month, you must keep complete quiet during my working hours. In moments of excitement only, you can shout, like the cat eating the rabbit or Kippy eating the cat.
Oh,
On 20 August, Churchill had made his famous speech in which he said, referring to the fighter planes, fighter pilots killed in the Battle of Britain. Quote, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few, end quote. It was possibly a rebroadcast of this speech to which Baba referred, when he said that he had heard Churchill's speech and liked it. The Blitz had begun on 7 September. It was the greatest air attack so far against London by the Luftwaffe, and it would continue for another week. They remembered Will and Mary Beckett in England, and Baba informed them, Will and Mary are sending money. The sidebar says, given the rule about not mentioning a man's name in front of Mara, Baba most likely did not actually refer to Will by that name, but in Mani's diary notes, she simply used Will instead of whatever term Baba used. The women were meditating half an hour a day. So Baba explained a few things to them about how to do it properly, concluding, quote, meditation is good. If you love and meditate, there is no harm. If you love and do not meditate, there is no harm. But don't meditate as if you have taken quinine powder. Has anyone ever taken quinine powder?
No.
No.
It's probably bitter, right? Astringent, maybe. If you are interested in meditation, you ought to do it with joy. If you do not like meditation, then you have to take my name. And if you love me, taking my name ought to give you joy. Do it when and where you like. The drawback in meditation is that any noise disturbs it, but love has no such obstruction. There, the lover is merged in the thought of his beloved. He does not meditate, he only loves. Neither noise nor any obstacle bothers him. Turning to housekeeping details, Baba instructed Kitty to stop having the clothes washed between 10 and 11. He then talked of travel. Where would you like to go? Not now, but after 2 months. Which is better, Jaipur or Karwar? Nadine, who was on silence, but like the other three on silence, could speak in Baba's presence, said in a strange voice that Jaipur was better. Baba continued, 12 months, 12 phases of working. I am dividing work into 12 different divisions. And for 12 months, 4 places to work. 3 months in each place. Mehrabad for 3 months, the next 3 months, perhaps Karwar, then maybe Jaipur. But the last 3 months.
You want to read the sidebar?
I read it already. It was about
Oh.
Will's male name,
Oh, okay.
and Mani putting that down in her diary as Will. But the last 3 months, definitely across the ocean. It depends. If the money is there, I will go to Hollywood. If not, Burma or Indochina. Next reader, please.
You want to take over, Rosalie?
Yeah. There's also someone else. Oh, Eva's here too. I'll read some too. They chanted the 7 names of God for half an hour, and Baba reminded them to continue singing it every evening in their room. He added, "Whoever likes pan can have it from tomorrow after lunch. It is good for digestion. Not more than 1 leaf each." Chadi Baba eats lots of pan every day and smokes 1 cigar a day from what is left from the other must. He spoke to Rano saying, "When you write to Ruano, write about it." She replied that she could not because of Baba's orders. The sidebar says Ruano was fond of smoking cigars. Elizabeth joked about keeping up correspondence that, due to the difficulty in sending and receiving foreign mail, the war has solved many problems for us. Everyone laughed. Baba mentioned that he had received a telegram recently from a doctor in Pune who knew him slightly. "I must see you," the man wired. "I cannot live without you." He knows I see no one, yet he wants to see me. I replied, "Don't come." Baba was much amused by the exchange. Kitty seemed depressed, maybe because her homeland was being bombed, and Baba asked her if she was happy. "What germ has gotten into your head? Take it out, chase it away," said Baba. Baba asked them to narrate the tale. The Thief of Baghdad. And afterwards, Narina told an amusing story about a thief and a carpenter. Baba returned to his seclusion at 8:15 p.m. 4 days later, on 12 September, Baba saw the close Eastern women again at 1 in the afternoon, as usual. All were called inside the East room an hour later. Baba instructed them not to go out in the noonday sun unless you want the experience of apoplexy or paralysis. They talked about the dogs and other pets for a while, and then of the war. When the heavy raids on London continued, Baba again mentioned Will, Mary, and Delia, who were enduring the Blitz. He showed them some Indian music history books he had brought and had some passages read aloud. He asked whether they preferred singing Hari Paramatma in the morning or evening. And when the majority voted for the morning, Baba told them to begin singing it in the mornings again.
Wait.
Unmuted. Someone's unmuted. Baba told them to begin singing it in the mornings again. A new routine was to be followed from the 14th. 6:30 a.m., morning tea. 12 p.m., lunch. 6 p.m., evening tea. Baba's working hours, during which there was to be absolute silence. 6:30 to 2 p.m. Wow. 8 p.m. onwards. Before leaving the women's side, Baba went around to all the pets and reminded the women, don't step out of the compound. On Sunday, 15th September, the Luftwaffe, emboldened by their success of the previous week, made a daring daylight assault on the battered, burning city of London that was to be the decisive battle of the war. Churchill called it the crux, or the turning point of the war. On that same day, Baba sent away all of the must and mad, except for Chadi Baba, Muhammad, and Shariat Khan, with whom he continued working. When he visited the women that day, he commented on the war and the political situation in India. Gandhi will again take the lead in the Congress Party, and the Muslims side with England. So there will be civil disobedience. Such a mess will follow. The Muslim League and Congress are both powerful. The balance is half and half. The independent Indian states are pro-England. 2/3 of India is for England, but the other 1/3 can cause lots of trouble. These leaders are treated very well in prison. But wait till the mess is complete and universal. Okay, and then let's see. I think this is Baba speaking, so anyway, silently speaking. If now, in a few days, 2,000 airplanes go for England, as well as ships, etc., what then? But even if England is defeated, it will not end the war. So it all means we must try more and more to obey orders, fight and hurt others less, and sing Hari Paramatma with more and more heart, and more open, awake eyes. If they don't keep open, glue them up. To Nadine, Irene, Mansari, and Carmen Masi, you had been put on a year of silence. Baba said, even if a bomb drops at your feet, you should not say, oh, not a word. Remember, even if a bomb drops. It is difficult for you to keep utter silence. For the first 2 months, you are likely to speak out. But if you do and catch yourself, then stop. He told the others not on silence that whenever they heard the silencers speak, to check them. It did happen for the first few days. Mansari recalled. It was difficult, but then it became very common. If anyone called me from behind, I answered, yes. But if they spoke in front of me, I remembered not to talk. The 4 women on silence used signs to communicate with their fellow ashramites. And Irene said, we learned the deaf and dumb alphabet too. This was both difficult and time-consuming for the other women who had to stop their work to figure out what they were saying. Baba urged the 4 silencers to use signs only when necessary. He told them, Naja's father, Masaji, is also on silence. He always has had a hot temper. If people understand his signs, well and good. If not, he throws things, stamps his foot, and bangs his fist, and then goes walking away for miles. When Nadine wanted to say something, she wrote pages and pages on tissue-thin airmail stationery. Baba explained that this was not keeping silent. You can write, but only if it is important for your work. Irene talked in her sleep, and the others teased her. I need more words. The others teased her. You're breaking your silence every night. Baba told her not to worry, as it was beyond her control. Turning to other topics, Baba commented, no letters from the West, not from Haiti, Jean, or Anita. Need another page.
I'm sorry, the cat is blocking me.
He spoke about their travel plans. If in Karwar we do not get a suitable bungalow near the sea, where then do we go? Of course, we go where I like, but I am just asking. Goa in winter is very nice. Benares too. Jaipur is the finest city in India. In winter, it is heaven. We will go to the center of all the trouble in the war. Uttar Pradesh will be the center of all troubles in India. We will go to the best places in India. There you will enjoy obeying orders, freedom for walks, etc. In Jaipur, we will ride horseback. Irene will teach everybody. We will begin with a pony and then increase the stable. If it is Karwar, you will have to eat only fish and nothing but fish. If it is Jaipur, only eggs. If Goa, only pigs. If Bundi, we will have nothing but ladus. In Karwar, swimming. In Jaipur, horseback riding. The sidebar says, Baba was making a play on words. Bundi, like ladus, is an Indian sweet. Baba added, see the futility of possessions by this war. All property goes, Poland is gone, yet it is all necessary, futile, but necessary. The body is necessary for the soul to realize itself. The body as body is futile, yet necessary. And then too, on tour, I will be with you more than here. Half day with you, half day working. Kitty quipped amidst laughter. Yes, half day with us and half day meditating. Baba responded, yes, meditating on you all. Hitler, Mussolini, Narina's foot, and the universe, but not on God. Someone made a remark about Narina's foot problems, and Baba said, I meditate on the universe, and Narina's foot is not out of the universe. and there was more laughter. Nowadays, you keep very quiet during my working hours, he added. Even Elizabeth doesn't shout for the animals. Baba took them around to see the animals, and then all reassembled in Mara's room. While the skies over London were filled with terrific din of bombs exploding and the constant flak, Baba had been directing their attention to singing and to musical history and theory. That day also, he had some incidents of Indian musical history read out, and he told them a story from his early days. Once in Manzili Mim in Bombay, the Mandali and I went to a place called Mandwa. There, an old, well-known sitar player was playing. He played so wonderfully. The effect was so great on all that a Muslim boy who was with us got so overpowered that he began to jump. First slowly, then higher and higher with such force that his whole body was twisting. I need more words. I told the sitar player to continue playing, not to stop, or it would be fatal for the boy. He played on, and gradually the boy stopped. The Mandali all know about it. It was not a trance. This was a force of vibration. Trances are common, but in the case of the boy, he had to jump. It is a gift, very rare, to create such vibrations. The voice has to be just right to create this kind of vibration. It can kill or revive. Even the best and most exquisite voice of the gross plane is only the seventh shadow of that voice which is God's, and which Christ, Zoroaster, and Kabir have called the Word of God. The voice of the best singer, which makes the rain fall, lights play, and people weep, is only the seventh shadow of that voice, which is God's. God is infinite voice, infinite light, and infinite love. But the voice of God is not sound. Sufis call it dumbfounding. Baba then returned to more mundane topics. In October, when I come, I will be quiet. All should come and sit quietly together. I won't use the board in October, just quiet and rest. The women all agreed that it would be nice as long as Baba was with them. He concluded by saying, in Europe, famine is coming. Pétain will have to commit suicide. I don't know what that means. Let me read the sidebar, because the sidebar says, when the French government fled Paris, the defeatist Henri Pétain became the French premier. He asked Germany for an armistice and collaborated, I need a little more, with the Vichy regime, with the Nazis. Wait a minute. He asked Germany for an armistice and collaborated with the Nazis in the Vichy regime. But okay, Baba then returned to more mundane topics. In October, when I come, I will be quiet. All should come and sit quietly together. I won't use the board in October, just quiet and rest. The women all agreed that it would be nice as long as Baba was with them. Oh, I reread this, but anyway, he concluded by saying, in Europe, famine is coming. Patain will have to commit suicide. And then he added, if Will and Mary get bombed, who will telegraph us? Where do you think Consuela de Cides? Where do you think Consuela is now? And Anita, is Delia dead? Warrior had become ill, and Elizabeth took him to the vet after Baba left. Elizabeth loved her pets devotedly, Mani observed. The care she gave to each pet was amazing, even more than you would do for a human. That evening, the women sang the 7 names of God and had a cup of hot milk before retiring. When Baba called the women again 4 days later at 2 p.m. on Thursday, 19th September, he asked Narina about her foot and told them a story about a bone specialist. Baba reprimanded Elizabeth and Margaret for having talked loudly the previous morning outside the compound. I will send Elizabeth to Piccadilly and Margaret to Broadway if it happens again. From 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., I want complete quiet for 10 days. If you can't do it, you are hopeless. I work for 15 minutes only, but it is at no fixed time. It may be at any time between 6 and 2. And just at that time when I work, you can't keep quiet. Baba then spoke about places in India for the upcoming tour in December. In winter, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, is paradise. Bandarvilla, Badula is really beautiful, but it is far away and expensive. Ceylon will play a very important part in the war. It is near the east and west and will be in a great mess soon. We would go there, but for 2 things: permit difficulties and the expense. Permit difficulties and the expense. Put your hands up, those who would like to go to Ceylon. Almost all did. Those who would like Karwar would like Ceylon even more. Nowhere in the world do we have toddy as in Ceylon. As the Karwar government refuses to give ground for a center, there is no use in our going there. Baba suddenly clapped and said, let's talk about the war. Congress is in a great mess, so confusing. Gandhi is being tactful in preventing civil disobedience. But once riots and disobedience start, do you know what it will mean? Worse than bombs and war. If England wins, France will again come back. But India, in such confusion, will be nowhere. I think I'm going to pass it over this word. Yeah, maybe.
Where were you?
Let's see.
Muslims and
But
Hindus are
Muslims
fighting.
and Hindus are fighting.
Yes. Do you want to take over, Eva?
Sure. Muslims and Hindus are fighting. Congress and the government are fighting the states, and subjects are fighting with all amongst themselves. 18 years ago, Gandhi declared mass civil disobedience and then regretted his Himalayan blunder. Dadabhai Navroji started the Congress Party. Baba mentioned Sri Aurobindo and his political letter in the press, then changed the topic again. If we go to Jaipur, we stay there 3 months and then travel to 2 other places, staying in each for 3 months. If Ceylon, we stay there 7 months. The Ceylonese people are a most happy looking race, always smiling, singing, dancing, like the people in Honolulu, and very clean. There are government washing taps, which are public faucets. When we went walking, we saw them washing under the taps, and we heard that not one Ceylonese, and I need more. Likes to miss his daily bath. If they are poor, they go to the government taps. Ceylon is Lanka, very famous for the history of Ram and Sita and the monkey god Hanuman. In Ceylon, you feel cheerful in spite of yourself, and you feel extra cheerful when you have had toddy, which in Ceylon is the best, as is their tea. From October, I will not even use the alphabet board. We will just sit quietly, no talking. Again, about the war, Baba commented, Spain is dead set against Russia, and Russia will certainly not like Spain joining Germany. During this period, Baba had Helen Dom's centerpiece portrait of him in his tomb removed. The painting had been done 2 years before on a plywood. Baba passed it on to Rano, instructing her to paint over it. He now wanted his portrait done in a seated posture, wearing a sadra, with his hair open. Rano began working on it, and when she was finished, the portrait was titled The Avatar. And sidebar, the painting was not kept again in the tomb. It is now in the museum at Upper Mehrabad. On Sunday, 22 September, Baba spent time with the women in the East Room, as usual, and the discussion turned again to meditation and love. By thinking continually, you become what you think of deeply. The mind makes one become what one thinks of deeply. When you meditate, you try to forget everything, even yourself. In loving, you forget everything in self, but you remember the beloved. In meditation, the beloved does not exist. That is why it is said that in meditation, the most you can achieve is samadhi, forgetting everything and deriving peace, but never God realization. It is only attained by love. Changing the subject to the war, Baba commented, Mahasabha is a reactionary Hindu political group. Says you should follow the Gita and act as Krishna declared, to defend but without hatred. Now, today, that is not practical because the German hate is so profound that the reaction in all the defenders must be of hate. Krishna's teaching, advocated by Mahasabha, and Christ's teaching, advocated by Gandhi, are both impractical for this war. What did the small nations do? They did not resist and were swallowed up. And now they hate more than those who resisted.
Mm.
So now will come a new third way for world peace. First World War, then peace. India fears air raids, and Calcutta office hours are shortened. The Bombay government thinks of shifting to Pune. If Egypt falls, India is sure to be bombed. Sidebar, Italian forces had penetrated 60 miles into Egypt. Therefore, we should go to one of the ports to stay, Ceylon or Ratnagiri, which is 50 miles from Sakarpa and one of the most beautiful parts of India, with beautiful mountains and beaches. It is bigger than Karwar. We will go to one of these ports. I would like you all to be bombed. Somebody made a comment about the war, and Baba spelled out in reply, what is bad about it? The war is teaching people to be brave, to be able to suffer, to sacrifice, and more. After playing some games outside, they sat under the tin shed, and Baba commented again on the war by drawing a diagram showing Hitler, Churchill, and Mussolini emerging from the sphere of Vidyan Bhuvan, infinite reality, into the gross sphere of illusion. Pointing to the gross sphere, he said, here they fight. Pointing to infinite reality, here they are one. But whatever happens, happens according to God's will. If you have this firmly embedded in your mind, then you will understand that this war business is nothing but God's game. After tea in the afternoon in their room, the conversation turned to travel and music. We leave Mehrabad definitely on November 2nd. Udaipur is one of the finest cities in India. It is called the Venice of the East. It is most beautiful, real, typical, picturesque India. Indian music was played on the gramophone, and Baba remarked, there are no singers like those old masters whose singing brought rain, light, etc. A great master singer died recently. His name was Alar Kha. He was the master of Master Krishna, who has often sung for me. When Alar Kha sang, things appeared to move. Baba returned on 26 September and gave the women new orders about keeping silence during his working hours. For 5 days, keep silence from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. All, even the servants, are to observe complete silence for 4 hours for 5 days. He then spoke about their upcoming trip, concerning obtaining passports and visas for Ceylon, etc. All is easy and good, except for more words. Vaccinations for cholera and smallpox. If we go to Udaipur or some other place, then we will go for 3 months abroad anyway. On the 2nd, we leave, and for 9 months, we won't come back. I said abroad, maybe Japan or China. In Persia, there are new rules for tourists. As soon as you get there, you are put in quarantine for 7 days. And then they take you out and give you all sorts of injections. There was laughter. It needs to move down. Tina, have you read? Do you want to read?
I'm feeling a little tired, but
Okay.
Maybe,
can you go?
maybe Mona wants to read.
Oh, maybe that's a good idea.
Brilliant.
I'm going to have to leave a little early.
Okay. Do you want me to stop there or go on for a little bit? I don't know if Mona.
You can go on for a little bit.
Sure. So finish this page then?
Yes.
Okay. The war is spreading, slowly encircling Indochina, Dhaka. The French are fighting the French. Later, as they sat under the tin shed, Baba said, a ship with 83 children on board sank recently. Ceylon will be in the midst of trouble, more than Udaipur. So where would you like to go, Ceylon or Udaipur? Who is scared of bombs? I have always liked fireworks. France now, nowhere. Will and Mary and Kent in England are amidst bombs. They went back to the East Room and Baba showed them beautiful enlarged photographs of himself. But his thoughts were again on the trip. In Ceylon, Elizabeth's car will be most useful. There are nice roads and lovely drives. It is hell and heaven both. The last 3 months, May, June, and July, it was in the midst of hell with heaven around. He added, before that, one very near and dear soul will die. Continuing, Baba said, from Bombay to Colombo will take 2.5 days by ship. We go by second class, which will be 105 rupees each. Kitty will make the stewards mad, and Norina will run about with chamber pots. All that will be included in the trip. Norina will chat with the captain and make him seasick. She will try to make him subscribe to the Meher Baba Journal. Then we will be torpedoed. It will make an amazingly true story for the journal. The women's schedule called for them to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, gather in the kitchen for singing the 7 names of God from 5:30 to 6, and then have their tea. From 8 until noon, they were to observe absolute silence, no matter what they were doing. At noon, they ate their 1 meal of the day, with only tea again at 6 in the evening. During the day, they were to do half an hour of meditation also. Norina said that Irene's dog, Gracie, who stayed under Irene's bed while Irene was sick, disturbed her meditation. Through signs, Irene remarked caustically to the others, if Norina was meditating properly, the dog shouldn't disturb her. Later, when they left Mehrabad, Gracie was given to someone in the village, but she came up the hill whenever they returned. All enjoyed seeing her, as the expression on her face always seemed to be a smile. There were also conflicts over Jampu, the monkey. The animal's skin stunk so badly that nothing could mask it. Kitty didn't seem to mind, Meher observed. She was somehow oblivious to the smell. She slept with Jampu and cuddled him. Her clothes soon smelled like him. Jampu only wanted to be held by her. When she was busy, once in a while, he did allow Katie to hold him, but for days, Katie couldn't get rid of the stink on her clothes to take. Then when she agreed, he was upset and wouldn't come to her.
Tina, I thought you needed to leave early. I think.
I do need to leave early.
Oh yeah, well you better go. It's about 3 minutes to 3.
Okay,
This is fine. It's wow.
I'm going to make a note that we were on page 101.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's intense. This hearing about the war. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
Bye, Baba.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, Baba. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you all for everything.
I tell you, you get more information from this Mara Mayer. I mean, no
Yeah.
tell. But Eva, try and see that great dictator.
Oh, I will. I keep forgetting.
Yes,
about that.
because Baba said it's the only film he'd want to see 7 times.
Oh,
I'm going
okay.
to sign off now.